Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shamira Benson, one part of Team Benson, and guys, I'm really sad today because I lost one of my namesake plants, and yeah, that makes me really sad. So if you guys are new here, I grow a desert garden in the Phoenix, Arizona city. So a city desert garden here in Zone 9B. And I have the ability to grow all year long. Well, I named 3 of my plants after 3 of my subscribers, and I am really disappointed in myself to say that I did lose one. Now, we have had like the craziest weather, like whether it was like not really chilling down, or it was getting too hot, or it was starting, it would have like really cold nights, and just a couple of my plants just didn't take off the way that they need to be. And as I've said many times, growing here in the desert, like we have to have the plants at a certain spot when weather gets a certain way. So it's all about timing for us. And unfortunately, one of my namesake plants are no longer with us. But not to worry to the person who it was named after, because I got 2 new plants that I am going to be potting in plants. You guys get to pick which one you want to be. And these are plants that I'm hoping I will be able to take to our future land when we get it. Okay guys, so my garden is a little behind on certain things that I wanted to plant, and it's partly because I work a lot during this time of year with the business that I own. So it's hard for me to get out here and make sure my garden is planted, and I didn't pre-plan a lot of the things. But there's some things that you can just get from the store. Thank God there are still grocery stores or nurseries and box stores that we could still get a couple things from. So I picked up a couple things that they had in Home Depot today, and yeah, I'm going to show you guys what I got and the 2 options for the person that it was their namesake plant. So the first thing I got, which is also option number 1, is a Concord Grape. Now, for those of you guys that have been following me forever, you will know that when we originally started our Instagram, it was called Team Benson Wines. It was called Team Benson Wines because we make wine. Well, my husband makes wine. I pretty much just kind of fill all the bottles and put the corks in them. And we made them a lot when we first got married and before life got too crazy. Well, one of the things I've always wanted to do, there's a fly, especially when we get married, or when we're already married, but when we get land, is I want to grow our own grapes so that then we can start making wine again. So this will be the first of Team Benson Wines coming back. Now, the next thing is raspberries. Now, if you guys remember, I had tried raspberries before. They were doing great. Everything was fine. And then the weather got insane and crazy and hot. Like hot. It I don't know. It went bad. It went really, really bad. I put them in a spot that it didn't grow well, so it just went really bad. So this time I'm planting my raspberries in a pot. Now, before I show you guys the other couple things that I got, I want to show you guys the plant that didn't make it. Here it is, guys. Yuli, I'm so sorry. I tried so hard. Yuli, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't unsubscribe to my channel. I'm not a terrible gardener, I swear. Now guys, my tomatoes, they were doing really, really good. So, well, some of my tomatoes were. My bigger ones, like my big beefsteak tomato and my black cherry tomato, they were taking off. They're doing really great. My Roma tomatoes, which is what I think Yuli was, just struggled. They struggled. Now last year it was the opposite. My big beefsteak tomato struggled, and my black cherry tomato just completely died, didn't grow. Like, it was terrible. But my Roma tomatoes, they produced so much. We got like bags and bags of Roma tomatoes. I have had a hard time. There's only one other Roma tomato in my garden. It's right there. And it looks terrible. Like, it has not grown past that point since I planted it, and it's been in there for some time, like a couple of months. So I don't know what it is this year, but Roma tomatoes are not it. But Yuli, please forgive me, and you get to pick. There's like I just watered my garden with fish fertilizer, so that's an issue. But you get to pick between being a raspberry or being a grape. So you let me know down in the comments, and please, my dearest apologies. I hope that you're planting your garden, because I know Sweden is really cold right now, so I hope you're planting your garden and planting some great things in your garden too. Now, for the other things that I purchased. So guys, one thing I found out by accident is that I can grow a lot of potatoes here in Arizona. Like, really odd, but I can grow a lot of potatoes. I can grow them for the majority of the year. But I've been on this cycle where we have had potatoes that I've been able to have our own potatoes that are like spudding, like to where they're like starting to get out roots. I think it's called spudding. And then I could just go ahead and plant those in the dirt. Well, the potatoes that I have in our garden right now came from the previous potatoes that I had, and we don't have any more of those potatoes left. The last potatoes that I had, they got ruined somehow. I don't know if the temperature was wrong in my house, but they got ruined. And I don't want to try and do another potato from the grocery store because they are sprayed with something. And every time I do that, something weird happens. So I've got this bag of seed potatoes. Now, yes, this isn't the most like... Okay guys, that fly is driving me crazy. Now, this isn't the most cost-effective way to grow your potatoes because you only get 5 potatoes in here for $5, so it's like $1 a potato. It is cheaper just to get like organic potatoes yourself and to sprout them yourself, but I don't have the time for that. And like I said, the potatoes in the grocery store have just not been really, really great. So I found these. They had them, I bought them, and we are just going to put some in the garden. The nice part is that I have potatoes that I can dig up so that then I can start the cycle all over again and still have my own homegrown tomatoes or potatoes. But if I plant them literally like every couple of months, I get a pretty steady stream of just some homegrown potatoes, which is what I think is very important right now. Now, the next thing is going to be onions. I got a bag of 60 onions. Now, I do think this is a cost-effective way to grow onions from the bulbs. This fly driving me crazy. From the bulbs, because you get 60 onions in here for $5, so $4.98. You get 60 of them in there. And I've grown onions this way. They grow well. If I plant them at the right time, then they'll grow really well. So this year, I'm not going to be behind in planting them. I'm going to go ahead, get them in the garden, and get them going. Now, the other thing I struggled with was garlic. Now, guys, I have really struggled with garlic, and I think it's probably because I haven't seen people in the desert grow garlic. Now, I do get locally grown garlic, but I don't know when they planted. I probably should have asked years ago, but I haven't. But everybody on YouTube, I've always planted garlic when everybody else plants garlic, and it's always just not bulbed up for me. So this year, I saw some California garlic, which California is close to Arizona, so might work. And it says that in my region, I should be planting it in January and then harvesting it in April. Versus what I've been doing is when everybody else plants garlic, which is in... I want to say November? Yeah, and that does never ever work for me. So I'm going to try garlic. And it makes sense because our coldest time, guys, is January and February. It's never like really cold in November here. So I'm going to try it. We're going to see if that happens. And yeah, those are the things that I purchased that I think is going to get my garden back on track to being where I want it to be. My goal is to grow as much food as possible for my family so that then we are not like in the grocery stores. A fly literally flew over the camera lens of my phone. But my goal is to be out of the grocery stores as much as possible and just growing things as much as I can in the garden. But I'm gonna get from behind this camera and into the house because these flies are annoying me. But you know, fish fertilizer is a great fertilizer for your garden, but they do attract flies. So Yuli, don't forget to comment down below if you want to be a grape or a raspberry. And until next time, you guys grow yourselves a garden because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.